Hey y'all, my name's Alexis Cross. Welcome back to my channel. I kind of want to talk about how you can't deceive God, right? And so, in my previous word, I talked about King Jehoshaphat, right? And so, we are going to talk about King Jehoshaphat and King Ahab, who are going to war against Ramoth Gilead because King Ahab didn't want to listen to, what's that boy name? Micaiah? I don't know. But I do want to reassure you with this name. This name literally means who is like God. So for King Ahab to not listen to this man, crazy, right? Okay, so we getting rid of this bronchitis, baby. We getting it up out of here. Okay, so what's this? Second Chronicles, right? Second Chronicles, chapter 18, right? Right. Yep. Verses 29. The king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, "As we go into battle, I will disguise myself so no one will recognize me. But you wear your royal robes." That don't sit right with me, because this man is not only testing Micaiah's word, who told this man, okay? He said, "In a vision, I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains like sheep without a shepherd. And the Lord said, 'The master has been killed. Send them home in peace.' Didn't I tell you?" the king of Israel exclaimed to Jehoshaphat. "He never prophesies anything but trouble for me." Then Micaiah continued, "Listen to what the Lord says. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne with all the armies of heaven around him, on his right and on his left." Okay? And the Lord said, "Who can entice King Ahab of Israel to go into battle against Ramoth Gilead so he can be killed?" God tests us, okay? God allows us to make a choice. We have free will, period. Either we're going to listen to him or we're not, right? And so, there were many suggestions, and finally a spirit approached the Lord and said, "I can do it." "How will you do this?" the Lord asked, right? And the spirit replied, "I will go out and inspire all of Ahab's prophets to speak lies. You will succeed. You will succeed, said the Lord. Go ahead and do it." Okay? And let me give you a background, okay? Because when they went to go get Micaiah, right? The person who went to go get him said, "Meanwhile, the messenger," this is verse 12 of chapter 18, right? "The messenger who went to get Micaiah said to him, 'Look, all the prophets are promising victory for the king. Be sure that you agree with them and promise success,'" right? But Micaiah said, "As surely as the Lord lives, I will only say what my God says." I will not lie for you. You want me to lie for what? Why you want me to lie? What is it a lie about? I'm not gonna lie. If God told me to say something, I'm gonna say it. Period. I'm not gonna lie to this man. And so Micaiah actually was funny, because when King Ahab asked him, he he said sarcastically, "Yes, go up and be victorious. You will have victory over them, if that's what you want to do." Okay? Anyways, reverse, back to our message, right? And so, back to how red flags popped up for me. Okay, so why is King Ahab asking Jehoshaphat to be all royal and proud of his kingdom status, but you finna go wear a costume? "As we go into battle, I will disguise myself so no one will recognize me. but you wear your royal robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went into battle. Okay? There's no way that you think I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. And there's no way that you think the God that I serve, the amazing God that I serve, is going to allow you to sacrifice me because you don't want to deal with the consequences of your choices. Like, let's be for real. You're kidding, right? Like, you're kidding. You got to be crazy to think that I'm going to die for you. And I know that I serve a great God who's going to protect me. Point blank, period. Okay? I don't know if I said the title of this message as I'm almost 6 minutes in. You cannot deceive God with 555 as the time of this video. Correct? You cannot deceive God. God knows our hearts. I think I just did it, but I did a video on it, right? God knows our hearts. Like, God knows us. God knows when we're trying to be deceitful. He knows when we're being truthful. And you know what I'm saying? I'm down on bended knee. Word to boys to men. Like, God knows us. Because he created us. He knew our purpose. He just gave us the free will to choose it. He just gave us the free will to seek it. Right? And so, now that red flag has been addressed, verse 30. Meanwhile, the king of Aram had issued these orders to his chariot commanders. Attack only the king of Israel. Don't bother with anyone else. Don't bother. Only kill this man. This is who I'm after. I don't care about nobody else. I'm after King Ahab. Okay? So when the Aramean, chariot commanders saw Jehoshaphat in his royal robes, they went after him. This man tried to use my boy Jehoshaphat as a ploy, as a diversion, a distraction, hey, kill him instead of me. That's crazy how people do these things and they make these decisions and then they want you to take the blame for it. That's really crazy that you thought that I was gonna sit up here and take these consequences for you. That's very crazy of you to believe that your problems are my problems. It's not. That's very crazy of you to believe, though, that I should have to suffer because you decided to do this. Like, yes, I was in agreement, but I asked us to seek the Lord. I asked us to bring God into it, and you didn't want to listen to God, so here we are. You didn't want to listen? Let's deal with it. Let's see what happened, right? Okay, so when they saw Jehoshaphat in his royal robes, they went after him. There's the king of Israel, they shouted. But Jehoshaphat called out, and the Lord saved him. God helped him by turning the attackers away from him. As soon as the chariot commanders realized he was not the king of Israel, they stopped chasing him. They left him alone. Okay, so not only is Jehoshaphat still keeping God first in his life, because he knows what's up. Yeah, I came out to battle with you, but I'm not going to leave my God back at that palace. I'm not going to go to war without my God. I'm going to ask God to come help me with this because this is not what I signed up for. You're trying to use me as a decoy. That word was not popping up to me earlier. Anyways, you were trying to use me as a decoy. Absolutely not. I'm not a diversion. Okay? I am not a distraction. Okay? You're going to have to deal with your mess. You're going to have to deal with your decisions. You didn't want to listen to God. So here we are. I serve a faithful God. I serve a merciful God. All right, so Joyce Meyer describes, this is what I'm currently reading. So I read my excerpt for today in my Bible, and then I read this, right? And so I skipped 2 days, so today I read 2, right? God is love, joy, peace, patience, right? But he's also kind, good, gentle, faithful, self-control. Because in order to prosper in life, you got to be able to control yourself. If you keep allowing people to control your emotions, you're going to end up causing your own downfall. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you're going to be the reason for your own demise, right? And so, back to the book of the Bible, it says, God helped him by turning the attackers away from him. As soon as the chariot commanders realized he was not the king of Israel, they stopped chasing him. You are not who we are after. Period. God knows his heart. God knows who he is. He is seeking God. Period. Right? Now this man that put on the disguise, right? When the Armenian, I don't think that's what this is. When, anyways, it says in Aramean, ooh, that sounds cool. Aramean soldier, however, randomly shot an Aramean soldier, however, randomly shot an arrow at the Israelite troops and hit the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. Turn the horses and get me out of here, Ahab groaned to the driver of the chariot. I'm badly wounded. The battle raged all day, and the king of Israel propped himself up in his chariot, facing the Arameans. In the evening, just as the sun was setting, he died. He died. He tried to deceive what God had planned for him, and that ended up being his downfall. Okay? I want you to know that you cannot deceive God. I don't care. You can't. He knows this, right? And so we serve a God who is willing to give us grace, right? And so in Romans chapter 9, verses 30, it says, even though Gentiles were not trying to follow God's standards, actually, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Reverse. No. Even though the Gentiles were not trying to follow God's standards, they were made right with God. And it was by faith that this took place. But the people of Israel who tried so hard to get right with God by keeping the law never succeeded. You know why? Because it's like baking a cake, right? It's like baking a cake. So you have this recipe to bake this cake, and you follow it to a T, right? You're gonna get the cake, right? But an experienced baker don't need no recipe. You know why? Because they trust in themselves to know what this cake needs. Point blank, period. They know what the cake needs to make it moist. Because you could follow a recipe and get a dry cake. Let's talk about it. Baking is a chemistry that some people never figure out. You can follow a recipe to the T and get a dry cake, but an experienced baker is going to spruce up those ingredients because they have experience, right? You know what I'm saying? They have tried and tried and tried and failed and failed and failed until they finally found a successful method, right? And so how this relates is that method is trusting in God and knowing that the experiences that we have went through were for our good, to show us what should happen and what shouldn't happen, right? But if I'm somebody who makes cakes from experience, right, my cake gonna taste 10 times better than your cake because I'm baking with love. I'm baking with the knowledge that I acquired. I have faith in my abilities that God has blessed me with, right? At the end of the day, it's just gonna taste better than somebody who is just out here, oh, I'm gonna just go make a cake today, right? Crazy. But anyways, verse 32. Why not? Because they were trying to get right with God by keeping the law instead of trusting Him. They stumbled over the great rock in their path. God warned them of this in the scripture. God warned them of this in scriptures when He said, I am placing a stone in Jerusalem that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall, but anyone who trusts in Him will never be disgraced. My sheep know my voice, period. My sheep's gonna know how to navigate this. I'm gonna give my sheep the help they need to get through this. And those who are not His sheep are gonna stumble on this rock every single time. You're gonna stumble. It's gonna happen, right? And so, in order to truly show God that you have your faith in Him, your heart posture matters, right? Chapter 10, verse 5 of Romans says, for Moses writes that the law's way of making a person right with God requires obedience to all of its commands. But faith's way of getting right with God says, don't say in your heart, who will go up to heaven to bring Christ down to earth? And don't say, who will go down to the place of the dead to bring Christ back to life again? In fact, it says, the message is very close at hand. It is on your lips and in your heart. You have to feel what you are speaking. A person can say a million words and say nothing at all. Okay? You could talk all day long. But I watched somebody named Latoya Okia, right? She say, what that heart do, right? What that heart do? What are you doing in here to show God that you have faith in God, that you trust Him, that you believe Him, and that you know that He is going to guide your footsteps? Okay? Because you can be like, oh, I believe in God, and I this and that, and you're not doing none of that. You're not doing none of that, right? But it sounds good. But you got to put them actions behind it, right? A mouth could say anything. Right? And the message is the very message about faith that we preach. If you openly declare that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is by believing in your heart, what that heart do, that you are made right with God. And it is by openly declaring your faith that you are saved. You can't praise God behind closed doors and go out in public and not act like it. Not look like God is even near you. You can't, right? And as the scriptures tell us, anyone who trusts Him will never be disgraced. Jew and Gentile are the same in this respect. They have the same Lord who gives generously to all who call on Him. But for everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. A lot of y'all are trying to put on this masquerade, right? If you've ever been to a masquerade, right, they have these props, right, that you wear on your face, that cover this part of your face, sometimes this way, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't let people know who you are, people are not able to see the real you because you're hiding behind a mask, right? And so if your heart posture is not lining up to what you're speaking, you are wearing a mask. You are trying to deceive God by saying, well, if I just do this and this and this, God gonna bless me because I'm obeying his laws. But you don't have no faith in him. You don't trust in him to do anything for you. You don't trust in him to come through for you, to guide your steps, to bring you clarity, right? And at the end of the day, that will be your downfall. That will be the thing that causes you every single time to fail, to stumble on that rock that's set in Jerusalem, right? So, like Latoya Okia say, what that heart do? Look deep into your heart and decide to choose God, to let him in, and decide to embody the characteristics of him. God is love, so as long as you love God, God shows you how much he loves you, right? So, I want to leave y'all with that. I hope you guys are having a great day, evening, whenever you find this. If you like this message, please like, share, subscribe, okay? I really appreciate it. I really just want to help one person. And that's okay with me. Like, if I just help one person, I understand that, like, what I'm reading in my Bible and what is connecting to me is also helping somebody else, okay? Because I love teaching people. I love learning. I love being able to share my knowledge with others. And why not tell people about God? You know what I'm saying? Why not tell people about the things that I'm learning? Because they might be going through it too. You never know what people are going through, okay? And so, if you like bottle butters and candles, my website will be down below. If you like custom mugs and stuff like that, comment and I'll let you know how to reach out to me and we can talk about that. I will also link down in the description the 1-year Bible, right? And my mama bought me this, but if I can find Healing the Soul of a Woman Devotional, I'm also see if there's a male version. I do know that Joyce Meyer is a woman, so she might not have a male version because she's telling it from her perspective as a woman. But I'm going to see if I can find that for y'all and link that down below as well. So, if nobody's told you today, I love you. I am proud of you. You are doing an amazing job. Keep striving after God, okay? Just wake up and go. Allow him in. Like, look at me. I still got on my work shirt. You know what I'm saying? My nails not painted. I need to just go ahead and take this color off. It's been chipping for weeks. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to be perfect. I just want to help one person. And so that is my goal, to just help one person. And if you are that person that I helped today, I want to say thank you for listening. I want to say that you got this, okay? Be strong. Be courageous, okay? A lot of times it is hard to do that. But I want you to borrow that strength and that courage from God until you believe it for yourself, okay? Seek that out in God. So, you can't fake it when it comes to showing God how much you trust in him and how much you believe in him, because he sees your heart. No matter how many words you talking, how fast you talking, it don't matter, okay? God knows his sheep. He knows us. Mama. At the end of the day. My child wants me, so Mama. I'm going to wrap this up. Be blessed. I hope this Mama. Message encouraged you. You guys have a great day. Bye.